everyone, welcome back. Nigeria has taken a major step towards one of the most significant constitutional reforms since the return to democracy. After years of debate over how to tackle worsening insecurity, the House of Representatives has approved the Constitution Alteration Bill seeking to establish state police across the country. But rather than ending the debate, the vote has intensified it. The question now is whether state police will finally become a reality, or whether the proposal will face fresh political and legal hurdles before it becomes implemented.
The House and Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Constitutional Review on a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended to provide for the establishment of state police services and for related matters, and in so doing, approved clauses 1 to 26, the explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill.
Today's vote, Mr. Speaker, presents us with an opportunity to place Nigeria's national interests above every other consideration and advance a reform that has the potential to significantly strengthen our security architecture, deepen our federal system, and better still, protect the lives and property of our citizens.
The dramatic section in the House of Representatives was marked by tension, disagreement, and an eventual walkout by members of the minority caucus. Despite their protest, lawmakers proceeded with the vote, and the bill secured the constitutionally required two-thirds majority needed to pass. The legislation, titled A Bill for an Act to Alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, to provide for the establishment of state police services and for related matters, seeks to amend Nigeria's constitution to allow individual states to establish and operate their own police services alongside the existing Nigerian police force. Supporters of the bill described the vote as a historic moment, arguing that Nigeria's current centralized policing structure has struggled to keep pace with the country's evolving security challenges. They believe that creating state police will improve intelligence gathering, enhance rapid response to crime, and enable security agencies to better understand the unique challenges facing different communities. For years, Nigeria has faced growing insecurity, including terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, communal violence, and armed robbery. Many security experts have argued that a single federal police force is overstretched in a country with more than 220 million people spread across 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Advocates of state police say governors and local authorities are often more familiar with the security realities within their states and can respond more effectively to emerging threats. They also argue that locally recruited officers may have a better understanding of the communities they serve, making intelligence gathering more effective and improving trust between law enforcement agencies and residents. However, not everyone in the House agreed that the proposal was ready to move forward. Before the final vote, members of the minority caucus staged a walkout, expressing strong reservations about both the content of the bill and the process leading to its passage. They argued that the constitutional amendment process had not been fully complied with and maintained that the legal framework governing state police still required further refinement before such a fundamental change could be approved. The minority lawmakers also raised concerns about safeguards that would prevent the misuse of state police by political office holders. Critics have long warned that without strong constitutional protections, governors could potentially use state-controlled police forces to intimidate political opponents, influence elections, or interfere with lawful political activities. These concerns have remained at the center of the national conversation whenever proposals for state police are discussed. While many Nigerians acknowledge the urgent need for security reforms, opinions remain divided on whether decentralizing policing is the best solution or whether strengthening the existing police force would produce better results. Despite the walkout, the House completed its consideration of the bill, and it received the required level of support to move forward in the constitutional amendment process. The passage by the House of Representatives does not mean state police has immediately become law. Constitutional amendment bills must still complete all other required legislative and constitutional procedures before any amendment can take effect. Depending on the stage of the amendment process, this may include concurrence by the Senate where applicable, and approval by at least 2/3 of Nigeria's state houses of assembly before presidential assent can be considered. If the constitutional amendment is eventually adopted, the federal government and the states will still need to develop detailed operational frameworks covering recruitment standards, funding arrangements, command structures, accountability mechanisms, training requirements, cooperation with federal security agencies, and oversight measures. The implementation phase would also require substantial financial commitments from state governments, many of which already face budgetary constraints. Establishing police commands, training academies, operational equipment, communication systems, vehicles, forensic capabilities, and personnel welfare programs would demand significant long-term investment. For supporters, however, the House vote represents an important milestone in Nigeria's effort to modernize its security architecture. They argue that the country's security challenges have changed dramatically over the years and require equally bold institutional reforms. For opponents, the vote raises equally important questions about accountability, constitutional safeguards, and the possibility of political interference in law enforcement. As the constitutional amendment continues its journey through the legislative process, Nigerians will be watching closely to see whether lawmakers can bridge those differences and produce a policing framework that improves security while protecting democratic institutions and the rule of law. The approval of the State Police Bill by the House of Representatives marks a significant chapter in Nigeria's constitutional history. Whether it ultimately transforms the country's security landscape will depend not only on its final passage, but also on how effectively it is implemented, regulated, and safeguarded against abuse. If you find this report insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I am Cassie Tony, and we'll see you in the next report.